Welcome, my freelancer friends. I am Mike Volkin, lead instructor of Freelancer Masterclass, and today we're going to be discussing the top 7 ways to find freelance work outside of Upwork. Why am I doing that? Because so many freelancers are relying on Upwork as their main source of income, which can be tough to do. I mean, don't get me wrong, Upwork is great. It's my favorite freelancing platform on the planet, but it's really difficult to sustain long-term high-ticket clients just by utilizing Upwork. So there are some low-hanging fruits out there, and don't get me wrong, there's lots more ways than just 7 to find clients outside of Upwork. I have found no less than 3 dozen different ways to find clients outside of Upwork, but right here I'm going to list for you the top 7 ways that I think that you can find freelance work outside of Upwork in the easiest possible way, meaning you don't have to be a specialist in any one area. You don't have to be a marketing specialist. You don't have to have a specialist in a specialization in a certain industry, okay? So let's get to it. The first way I would recommend is to utilize LinkedIn, but there's a Chrome extension called LinkedIn Helper, all right? Linked Helper is a way to automate your LinkedIn recruiting. So what you can do is easily friend and network and message with very targeted people that meet your exact persona of the people you're trying to attract to become clients. Now, once you get them, the idea here is once you get them in your network, then they'll see your postings. You can message with them back and forth freely and start a relationship. It's a very low cost way to not really fully automate LinkedIn prospecting, but do it in a very targeted way that saves a ton of time, okay? So utilize Linked Helper for LinkedIn. It's a Chrome extension. And another way that you can get clients outside of Upwork is job listing sites. You know, there's We Work Remotely, Angel List, Remote.co, Flex Jobs. I mean, just Google remote work, remote job postings, and you'll see a dozen different sites. I just listed a couple of the most popular, but now true, a lot of these sites are looking for full-time work, but as I've mentioned in previous videos, what you do is you tell them, listen, I'm a freelancer. I have the flexibility to work as many or as little hours as you want. You don't need to carry the expenses and legalities of holding an employee. And just by those couple arguments there, they're more than likely going to give you work, or not more than likely, but they are more than likely to see your point of view and give you work. And the great thing about freelance work is that a lot of people don't really take into account or mention that often, is that there's a really low barrier to entry for trying a freelancer. When you hire an employee for full-time work or even part-time work, you have to go through the whole process of submitting the paperwork, registering it with the right entities, right? With freelance work, it's like, hey, here's 10 hours of work. Tell me what you can do, or show me what you can do. All right. So with these job listing sites, you can say, hey, listen, give me a shot. I'm just asking for 10 hours of work, and we'll go from there. And a lot of times when I do that, that's just enough to be able to capture their interest. Say, okay, Mike, let's start thinking about some more consistent work here. So utilize job listing sites to your advantage. Another thing you could do to find freelance work outside of Upwork is direct response funnels. Now, we talked about an entire class on direct response funnels at Freelancer Masterclass. And if you're not a student, go ahead and join because we go into a lot of detail on this. But direct response funnels are very effective to get high ticket clients. I've talked about in the class my specific example, and I've had several, but the most recent one is where I was targeting insurance agents, and I basically productized something for them. I created this marketing funnel for them, and I gave it a name. I created a webinar, and I started targeting them online. So the very goal of a direct response funnel is to set up a paid ad that solves a particular problem. Okay, the paid ad states a particular problem that a certain industry or a client might have, maybe a job position. And that landing page shows that you're the expert to solve that problem. And it could give a webinar or an ebook or something that shows you're the expert. And then basically they submit information to either sign up for the webinar or get the ebook, and that gives you the lead, right? So then you can follow up with them accordingly through drip emails or a phone call or a personal meeting, whatever. But that's a direct response funnel. It's very targeted to one specific problem and one specific solution. And all you really need to do, no matter what type of industry you're in, wedding planning, writing, anything. I saw a direct response funnel for someone who teaches others how to be paid speakers. All right. There's anything you can think of, you can set up a direct response funnel, because as a consultant or as a freelancer, you solve a problem for somebody. That's the reason why they hire you. So if you can make a funnel around that and then specifically target your exact persona online, the stronger the funnel is, the stronger the pain point is, the more you can charge. And I use that example with the insurance agent. I was charging $10,000 for a funnel, and I got several orders in. And really the great thing about this funnel is that when they buy something from you, it's highly repeatable, meaning you don't have to recreate the wheel for every single client. You make you solve that problem for the client, and that same problem that another client has to solve, you go about it the same exact way. So the costs are very low as well. So utilize direct response funnels. And another thing that you can do to find clients outside of Upwork is cold emails. Now, I know you might think this is spam. Don't be spamming. I get those emails every single day from people from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. Hello, sir. Greeting of the day. We are a top SEO company. We can get you guaranteed. I mean, Google SEO rankings. I could just recite these up. I mean, those just go straight into my spam box. And if they don't, I just mark them as spam. I encourage you to do the same. But cold emails can be much more targeted and much more personal. Just because you got an email address doesn't mean you have to spam somebody. So let's just say you buy an email list, which I don't necessarily recommend. I recommend you get them manually. You could do that through Email Hunter or some other website. You could just, if you know of someone you want to target and you need their email address, go to Email Hunter and type in what company they work for in their name, and they'll give you a probability of what their email address is based on the company structure of emails, like first name dot last name at insertcompanyname.com. So just because you have an email doesn't mean you have to spam them. So you write them an email, say, listen, I've been keeping my eye on your company for a while. I think I can help out here. Do you have any positions available? You have any need for me to do this or that? They might say no. It doesn't matter, because now you end the conversation with, and by the way, most likely you're going to get a no. That's okay. Very rarely, I don't think I have ever gotten on the first outreach of a cold email a job just like, yes, let's get going. Here's some money. There's always a little bit of relationship building, but they're going to say no, most likely. And what you do is you say, would you mind if I friended you on LinkedIn? That's the only thing you need, because now that you have them as a LinkedIn connect, you can message them directly in the future. They'll see all your posts whenever they get onto LinkedIn. You can target them with ads later on. You've got them in your network now. You can begin to develop a relationship, which is the whole point of a cold email. Okay. The next thing you do is hit up your personal networks. So yes, you've got your social networks, et cetera, but technically the real moneymaker here is in your first degree network, what LinkedIn calls your first degree, but it's your personal contact database, the ones that you would most likely talk to on every 6 months or less via email, or maybe they're in your phone. You have their phone number. I don't personally recommend reaching out to friends and family. In fact, in Freelancer Masterclass, we have a whole class called the Friends and Family Conundrum. I am, I guess you could say, on the side of not doing this. But if you are just starting out as a freelancer, or you haven't been meeting your income goals, this is a low-hanging fruit for you to tap into. Tell your friends and family you're available for work, and if anybody they know that needs a writer, needs a designer, needs to know how to do public speaking, going back to that previous example, that you are available for work. Most likely, if you do this consistently, once a month, twice a month, to your personal networks, a personal message, not a group BCC where everybody gets, or even worse, CC'd, 99 emails in the subject or in the CC line, and just send out a blast email. I'm talking about a personal email. Hey, haven't talked to you in a little while. Wanted to let you know I'm looking to pick up some extra work. If you know anybody that needs some copywriting, please email me. Something simple, short and sweet and to the point. If you do that consistently, you should be able to get about 10 clients a year doing that, okay, on average. I know somebody who does it full time. That's all they do is network to their personal personal database. Another thing you can do to get clients outside of Upwork is go to events. There are events everywhere, no matter what city you live in. There are events that have your prospective clients, and nothing is better than a face-to-face meeting. I don't care how advanced technology gets with online meetings and video conferencing. Face-to-face meeting, being able to look at somebody in the face, sit down with them, have a coffee, shake their hand, whatever, is the best type of events you can go to. And it doesn't have to be something where the prospects are there looking to buy something. It could just be a local Kiwanis club, a local Republican or Democratic club. It could be anything where your ideal client is, and then you're forming that relationship, and then they get inside your personal network, going back to the previous example I was using. So the goal here is to get them inside your personal network. They don't have to be your best friend. They just have to be someone who knows you by name and knows what you do. Okay. And number 7, Quora. Yes, it's a question and answer site I have a love-and-hate relationship with, but there's a lot of I'll leave my qualms about Quora out of this, but I'll say there's a lot of junk on Quora. But if you set up your Quora alerts and you're able to answer questions that people have, you will drive more authoritative traffic to your website, and people will see you as an expert. It doesn't happen right away, but if you happen to hit a question that you answer thoroughly and it gets upvoted, and that question gets a lot of visibility, and you'll see the stats right in the question. It says, 100,000 people following this question, and you're the top answer, you'll get a lot of visibility. And I've answered maybe about 200 Quora questions in the last year and maybe year and a half. And maybe 5 or 7 of them are driving 80% of the traffic. So you're going to waste a lot of time, but your authoritative, your authority will increase over time. And those few percentages of those questions that just really go viral in your industry and get up, and your answers get upvoted, they'll give you a lot of visibility, thousands and thousands of page hits. So utilize Quora if you don't have an account already. Okay, I hope these tips helped. Good luck.